Hi, welcome to Dawn Wiggins Therapy, a place where you can find answers and solutions to your relationship problems. Thank you for joining me today, where we're talking about why does my husband ignore me? Now, I've learned that why does my husband ignore me is one of the most popular searched terms on Google, which is fascinating to me and obviously an indicator that I need to respond to that question. So today we're going to talk about why your husband may be ignoring you, but I also want you to know if you found this video and you're not married, that's okay. The answers are going to be the same regardless of who the person is in your life that you feel is ignoring you. They might be a little bit different when you're married or it's a romantic relationship, but in general, the concepts that I'm going to discuss are relevant to most relationships. So the first thing that I want you to consider is that we all want to feel loved and accepted. And when we disconnect or we withdraw from a relationship, it's probably a sign that that person isn't feeling loved and connected inside of the relationship. Now, that doesn't mean that you're doing anything to cause that. It could mean that whoever's withdrawing from you or disconnecting is having their own problems, their own limitations that's keeping them from being able to show up and be close with you in the relationship. However, we can't control what other people think, feel, say, or do. And so for the purpose of this video, I really want to teach you how you can turn the focus on yourself and see what you can do to create the most loving environment that makes it easier for people to want to be connected and in relationship with you. So, the next time you find yourself asking, why does my husband ignore me? I want you to flip that question on its head and ask, what can I do so that I'm not ignoring my husband? And I think that that will be the most productive way that you can find yourself in the most loving relationship that you can create. And the more you focus on that, the better your results will be. So there's a few things that I want you to consider when you ask, how can I not ignore my husband? And the first one is to ask yourself, am I treating my husband with unconditional love and acceptance? And so that means checking in with yourself and being rigorously honest. Am I trying to change him? Am I trying to control him? Or am I treating him in a judgmental way? Now, I want to teach you the difference between judgment and opinion, because a lot of people say, well, that's just my opinion, but it's truly a judgment. If someone says, that video that Dawn made about husbands sucks, that's a judgment. That person has decided for everyone that the video is terrible, instead of saying, in my opinion, I didn't really care for that video. Or in my opinion, that video was amazing and it was really helpful for me to understand. When someone expresses how they feel or their opinion, it's not a flat decision for everyone out there. It leaves room that there are other opinions and that other opinions are okay. So, in terms of unconditionally loving and accepting your partner, it means not trying to change them and not judging them. And what I want to make a note of here is that there are ways to ask for what you need in your relationship and to get your needs met without controlling and without judging. And that is a whole nother topic, but there are kind and loving ways to say, you know what, I really wish we could have, and opening a dialogue in a way that's non-threatening and that doesn't put your partner or other people on the defensive. So, practicing unconditional love and acceptance. The second thing that I want you to ask yourself if you're contributing to your relationship is consistently speaking with openness and vulnerability. And this doesn't just have to be about struggles, because a lot of times when we think about vulnerability, we think about painful things, but it's also sharing our gratitudes. You'd be surprised how many people come to me and say it's really hard for them to say thank you, or I appreciate this, or I'm so grateful that you did this particular thing, or you are this certain way. And so it's just as important to be open and vulnerable about our gratitudes so that we can create a loving relationship as it is to be vulnerable about our hurts. And if we're not consistently being open and vulnerable, then we know that there's a place where you can make a difference in your relationship to create a more open space for that person to connect to you. So I want you to think about what it would feel like to say thank you or to express gratitude. And if this problem of ignoring has been going on for a while, my guess is that's going to feel like a struggle because there's already resentment. And when resentment gets in the way, it blocks gratitude. And so check in with yourself about how hard would it be for me to say thank you? How hard would it be for me to acknowledge something I'm grateful for? And how hard would it be for me to be open and vulnerable about something that feels that I feel a little insecure about, or that I don't really want you to see because I'm afraid that you won't like it, or that you will disapprove of me, or that you won't think I'm attractive. Those are the voices in our head that tell us not to share openly. The next thing I want you to consider is, are you supporting each other when you have tough issues? Meaning, if one or the other of you is having a hard time with something, and it could be parenting, it could be a career difficulty, it could be something in the realm of sex or extended family. When there's a problem, are you willing to support each other and not tear each other down? And are you open to the idea of getting professional help? Anytime we have problems like a health problem or addiction or issues regarding money or work, a lot of times it's really, really helpful to have a professional to help us through the problem. So, if you had a sickness like even something small like bronchitis or the flu, or something large like diabetes or cancer, you probably wouldn't go it alone. Some people would, but it wouldn't be advisable to go it alone. We'd want to seek some sort of medical support, whether it's from Western medicine or Eastern medicine. You'd want to get some support in getting well. Same thing if it's a career issue. It's really, really helpful whether you're in your own business and you're an entrepreneur, or you're an employee, or you're out of work. It's really, really helpful to get support from someone like a career coach or a business development individual. And if it's a mental health issue like addiction or something related to sex or family conflict, it can be really, really helpful to seek guidance from a life coach, a therapist, a spiritual advisor. And if you're buying into the stigma of asking for help is not a good thing, then your relationship is lacking the support that it needs in order to function in a healthy way. And it reinforces the message that asking for help means that you're inadequate in some way. Instead of being willing to push through that discomfort and say, hey, in order for our relationship to function at its best, let's ask for help. Let's get some support. And let's not wait till the last minute. Because the majority of people who do seek couples counseling, they wait until they're already on the threshold of divorce. And at that point, there's so much damage done, it takes that much work to bring it back to a place of stability. So don't be afraid to ask for help and to support your loved one by letting them know that that's okay and that you'll participate with them, and that this is a family problem or a relationship problem and not something that they need to go fix, but something that you're willing to engage in and learn about how you can also do things better. The final thing that I really want you to consider is, do you prioritize your partner? And when we're talking about this topic of why does my husband ignore me, it really sounds like you feel like you're not being prioritized. And I get that. Feeling ignored is excruciatingly painful. But again, because you can't control your partner, I want you to consider, are you prioritizing them? Meaning, do you let things like children, work, image, friends, family members, like your parent or any other family member or a sibling, do you let those people come before your partner? Do you let money or things come before your partner? Do you keep secrets, which means you're prioritizing dishonesty over honesty with your partner? There's a lot of ways that we don't realize we end up deprioritizing our partner, and they feel not worthy, not important, rejected. And while they may not be able to articulate it in that way, like, hey, I feel deprioritized, using this fancy word that Dawn says on her YouTube channel, it boils down to them not feeling important, not feeling valued or worthy. And this is one of the biggest problems that I see in relationships that work and family or image get in the way of true partnership. And so I want you to really take a look at the way you spend your time, your energy, your thoughts, both positive and painful, and see how much of it is spent on your spouse in service to them, because we often don't realize how selfish we can be when we say we're just taking care of other people. A lot of times that's actually in service to our own needs, because taking care of others helps us to feel needed and worthy. So a lot of times when we're feeling ignored, taking care of others is one of those ways that we cope with feeling ignored, but it's actually making the problem worse. So we've covered 4 different ways that you can really evaluate your life and your behavior inside of your relationship to see if you can contribute to a more loving, connected space between you and your partner. And we've really acknowledged that instead of trying to blame or fix your partner, that there are a lot of things that you can do to improve your relationship. And of course, if you're really struggling and things are really in a painful place, please don't hesitate to ask for help. Don't wait till it's too late. Like I said, the majority of people who seek marriage counseling or couples counseling, they wait until it's too late, and then at that time, very few of them even ask for help. So don't be that couple. Be willing to do what it takes so that you don't have to suffer the pain of breaking up or of divorcing, and call someone, me, anyone, and get the support that you need so that you can live the happy and fulfilled, loving life that you dream of. And if this video has been helpful to you at all, I would really encourage you to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you can receive more helpful information on how you can live a life that you love. Thanks so much.